Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to another year. It's 2023 and we've got some great topics to talk about for you this year. So NLC Prep hopes you're having a great start to the new year. And if you're thinking of becoming licensed, stick around and see what the three main duties are and what they entail. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Chris and I'll be your host tonight. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down at the bottom. Get all the new content and new videos coming out. And tonight we're going to go over the three main duties of a land surveyor. All right, so number one, research. Research land records, survey records, and land titles for the parcel of land. So before a surveyor goes out in the field and collects the data, they must spend a few hours to a few days doing research on the parcel of land. Like I said, this can take a few hours up to a few days depending on the size of the project. Typically, a surveyor will need to collect information from several different government agencies. The research stage is one of the most crucial phases. Without having all the information, this could cost a surveyor paying fees down the road or even legal recourse for work performed. So during the research phase, you'll be looking for evidence of previous boundaries to identify where boundary lines are located. So the research stage is one of the most crucial, like I was saying. So without having all the information, it could cost the surveyor for paying fees down the road. So how much research is enough? Well, when you're confident that you found all the relevant documents and you're ready to head to the field. All right, number two, field work. So the second main duty would consist of field work. So much like obtaining research of the parcel previously, the field work itself can take anywhere from a couple hours to several days. As a surveyor, they are required to travel to the property site. And then during the field work, surveyors search for existing boundary markers such as pins, pipes, stone monuments. Depending on the size and terrain of the parcel, this can either be done on foot or by vehicle. And during the field work, surveyors are required to also assess the geographical area nearby by collecting enough data to accurately portray the parcel of land adjacent to them. This can also include the restoration of lost or obliterated property corners. So while you're out there, if you're not able to find one, this could be something that you might be doing while you're out there. All right, so field work, of course, there's several different ways to go about it to collect the data, depending on the type of information you need, as well as the type of surveying being performed. For instance, with the topographic surveys, the data can be collected via ground stations and leveling, GPS units, LiDAR systems. So there's several different ways to get the information. All right, in the third phase, moving on. The third main duty of a land surveyor is to analyze the data from the original survey, the survey of record, and what was found on site. So this is where you'll go ahead and you'll do your analysis, put everything together, what you found. So whether it be the old deeds or surveys, what was actually out in the field, where that property corner was located, and then you'll compile all the information and put it together. So with the information obtained, the land surveyors will then start to recreate maps, design plots, and write the reports of their findings. So like I said, based on the evidence that was found and based on the evidence that was found during your research phase. All right, so once you've obtained all your information, you'll present your findings to the client and or government agencies. Lastly is when you'll establish land or water boundaries with deeds, leases, and other documents. All right, so just to kind of recap for you guys real quick. So the three main duties of a land surveyor, number one, research. So this part can take several hours to several days of collecting information from several different government agencies. During the research phase, you'll be looking for evidence of previous boundaries. All right. 2, field work. So much like obtaining research on the parcel previously, the field work itself can take anywhere from a couple hours to several days, as the surveyor is required to travel to the property locations. Of course, not all the properties you're going to be working on are adjacent to each other. Some are in other states, some are in other counties, so it just depends. And then, of course, the size of it. So during the field work, surveyors are search for existing boundary markers, like I was telling you, such as pins, pipes, stone monuments, and surveys will also assess the geographical area nearby and collect enough information on it to give a accurate description of the adjacent parcels. And 3 is the analysis. So lastly, you'll analyze the data of the survey of records, and what was found on the parcel. So with all the information that was obtained, the land surveyor will then restart to recreate those maps, design the plots, and then write the report based on these findings. So research, fieldwork, analysis, and deliverables. Those are the 3 main duties of a land surveyor, and they're, like I said, their main duties that they have to perform. So we'll go ahead and jump into it again. If you guys got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Be glad to answer them for you. Also, if you want to hear about a specific topic, definitely let us know as well. All right, so 3 main duties of a land surveyor. Jumping right back into it again. Research, fieldwork, analysis, and deliverables. So, 1. Before a surveyor goes out to the field to collect data, they must first spend several hours to several days doing research on the parcel of land. Again, this can take anywhere from a few hours to a few days, depending on the size of the project. Typically, a surveyor needs to collect information from several different government agencies. The research stage is one of the most crucial parts, and without having all the information, this could cost the surveyor paying fees down the road or even legal recourse for the work that was performed. So, number 1, research. Make sure you do it. Make sure you collect all the information, what's out there, prior to starting any job. And then again, during this phase, you'll be looking for evidence of previous boundaries to identify where boundary lines are located. So the research stage, like I said, is one of the most crucial parts. Without having all the information, this can cost the surveyor paying fees down the road or even legal recourse. By how much research is enough? Well, when you're confident that you found all the relevant documents and you're ready to head to the field. All right, second main duty. Second main duty would consist of field work. This is what everybody loves to do. So much like obtaining research on the parcel previously, the field work can take anywhere from a couple hours to several days, again depending on the size and location of the project. So during the field work, surveyors search for existing boundary markers such as pipes, pins, and monuments. Depending on the size and terrain of the parcel, this can be done either on foot or by vehicle. And during the field work, surveyors are required to also assess the geographical area nearby by collecting enough data to accurately portray the parcel of land. So this can also include the restoration of lost or obliterated property corners. So when you're out in the field, if you're not able to locate one, even though it's showing a record, following your standard operating procedures for your company or for yourself or whatever it might be, as well as the state, making sure you meet the guidelines for doing anything prior. All right, and again, several ways to collect the data. So depending on the information that you need, as well as the type of survey being performed. For instance, topographic surveys, data can be collected using ground surveying and leveling, GPS units, and LiDAR systems. So several different ways to get the information you need. All right, the third main duty of a land surveyor is to analyze the data from the original survey, the survey of records, and what was found on the site. So with all the information obtained, the land surveyor will then start to recreate the maps, design plots, and write the reports for the findings. So once you've obtained all the information, you'll present your findings to your client or to the government agency. And then lastly, you may establish land and water boundaries for deeds, leases, and other legal documents. And just to recap on these three main duties is number one is research. Again, can take anywhere from several hours to several days, depending on the size and location of the parcel, as well as collecting the information from the government agencies. Sometimes this will take you just as long, if not longer, waiting for the information prior to going out to the field. 2. Field work. So much like obtaining the research like I just previously stated, field work itself can take anywhere from a couple hours to several days, again depending on the size and location of the parcel. During the field work, surveyors search for the existing boundary markers, again pipes, pins, and stone monuments. And third is the analysis phase. So lastly, you'll analyze the data from the survey of record, and what was found on the property. With the information that was obtained, the surveyor will then start to recreate maps, design plots, and write the reports of their findings. And those are the three main duties for a land surveyor. So you got your research phase, your field work phase, and your analysis and deliverables. And again, if you guys want to hear about a specific topic, by all means, let us know. We'd be glad to go over it with you, talk about it, and create one for you. That's what we're here for, is to help you guys out becoming professional land surveyors, whether it be test questions or, you know, what's required in my state or what have you. We've gone over a bunch of them before, but if you want to hear about another one again, or, you know, updates on one, or a new one in completely, by all means let us know. We'd be glad to go over it and help you out. And again, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. My name again is Chris with NLC Test Prep. Let's have a great year, and don't forget that if you have a topic, like I said, let us know. Leave it in the comments. We'll review it.